Hey everyone, happy Thursday. So, we're all coming off the challenge. I hope you guys have caught your breath. I'm finally catching my breath. It was such a good challenge. I just have to say, you guys, I'm blown away. And I'm just so proud of you all for all the work you put into it and the amazing results some of you guys saw. That's awesome. So proud of you. Okay, so I posted a question earlier in the week, I believe it was Monday, about why are all the reasons that you eat other than for fuel, right? That's a big portion to why we are overweight. We eat other than for fuel, okay? I had a lot of my own ideas because I've been coaching women for a long time, but I wanted to know what you guys were really struggling with the most. And you guys just cemented for me exactly what I was thinking. So I just want to say thank you for all of those who commented on that. Um, just a little outline if you really want to keep working on this, even after the challenge, I am going to have um, posts in the group at least every Monday, Sunday night Monday, and then I will be here every Thursday at 11:30 Central Time to really dive into these topics and to help you work on eating just for fuel. Okay? So, we're going to do a whole series here of all the reasons why we eat other than for fuel. I have lots of them that I want to dive into. So, the first one I'm going to dive into is boredom. And with boredom, I'm going to put restlessness. Because those two are usually tied. We get bored and then we get restless. Okay? And I bet some of you will think, oh, she's just going to tell me how to not be bored, right? That's what the world says. Nobody can be bored in this day and age anymore. You know, you can distract yourself with just about everything. The TV, scrolling social media, playing on your phone, going for a walk. I mean, that's what you hear as to how to combat boredom eating. And while none of those things are necessarily bad, and yes, they will make you probably a little less bored, they don't really get to the root of the problem. And that's what I want to dive into today, okay? I want you to really think about, is keeping yourself busy all the time or trying to keep yourself busy all the time so then you don't get bored, is that working? And type in the chat if you if you think that's working, or if you're like, no, that is not working for me because I still get bored and I still eat because of boredom. Okay? I know for me, I still would get bored. Let me give you the definition of boredom so then we can kind of start from the same place, okay? The definition of boredom is the state of being weary and restless through lack of interest. Okay? So there's two parts of this definition I really want you guys to pay attention to. Restless and lack of interest. Okay? Let's first talk about restlessness. This is just restlessness. That feeling is just a feeling of pent-up energy in your body. It wants to get out and it can't. Now, yes, you can go for a walk. You could pace around the house if you can, but there's sometimes that you're bored that you can't. Let's say you're in a movie theater with a friend and you can't really go anywhere. And there's still half a bag of popcorn sitting there to be eaten, even though you're not hungry. The chances are you're probably going to start munching to use up some of that energy because you're restless. And here's why. Restlessness doesn't feel good. It's a physical sensation. It is an actual, like, chemical sensation in our body that doesn't really feel all that great to us. And that's why we turn to food, because food makes us feel a little bit better, and it uses up some of that energy. But since it is a physical sensation, I want you to kind of think of it almost like hunger. Okay? Hunger is also a physical sensation brought on by chemicals in our body. Okay? So like I talked about in the challenge, hunger, real true hunger will pass if we don't make a big deal about it. Okay? If we don't make it mean something terrible or that we have to get rid of it, it will just go away on its own. The same goes with restlessness, you guys. Instead of thinking that you have to get rid of this pent up energy, this restlessness, this feeling, I help my clients kind of drop into restlessness is I want you to describe how it feels in your body. Like, what does it feel like to you? What are the sensations like? Does it have a color? Is it hot or cold? Where is it in your body? And just start describing it and put focus on it. Because here's the really cool thing, you guys. When you put focus on it, it tends to dissipate. And the reason is, especially for restlessness, is you're not really bored anymore because you have a focus, you have an interest. But the other thing I often tell my clients is that when we're experiencing these emotions are just little indicators of things we're supposed to pay attention to. So if you're focusing on that restlessness and it's not going away, then you need to ask God, what am I supposed to be paying attention to here? And let's just take the movie for the example, okay? You're sitting there with a friend, you're watching a movie. Maybe the movie's portraying something that's kind of against your values. And then you need to start thinking about, okay, why are they? Why is this movie, what pieces of it are against my values? What do I want to learn from this? What can I do differently next time? That is what I want you to start learning. Why are you having this emotion in the first place? Or maybe it's not because of the values of the movie. Maybe it's because you're thinking about all the things that you need to do when you get home. Or you're wondering what's going on with the kids at home. Well, why are you thinking about home? What is going on? What are you worried about? Are you worried? What does God want you to pay attention to here? What is he asking you to do in this situation? What does he want you to be alert of? And that's a really cool thing, because if you start really thinking about, okay, God, what am I supposed to be paying attention to here? You are going to have some interest, okay? Which really brings me to my next point, that I wanted you to pay attention to the words lack of interest, okay? We are bored because of our lack of interest. How do we gain interest in something? We get curious. But first, let me back up here. I have a little hypothesis that we've created all this busyness, and I actually really think the enemy has created this. And I can't remember who said this quote, but there's a quote out there that if Satan can't make you bad, he'll make you busy. Okay? I think the busyness has really taken away from us being interested in things, paying attention to things, getting curious about things. And that's why we never really take care of it. We never take care of that boredom if we're just trying to be busy. Okay? But let me go back. How do we gain interest in something? We get curious. We ask lots of questions. Like when you're first dating someone, what do? You ask them lots of questions. You want to get to know them. And that's what happens when you get interest. And what I find is most common is a lot of women believe that there's something outside of them that makes them interested in something. And that's not true, you guys. We choose to be interested. We choose to be interested by asking questions. And here's what I find most often with my clients when they boredom eat. They lack interest in themselves. Heck, most of them don't even know who they are, who God made them to be. And they avoid getting interested or finding out about themselves by eating, keeping themselves busy by eating. And then they go on to tell themselves, I hear this a lot, I'm just kind of boring person. I'm not that interesting. So they're thinking that they're boring and uninteresting, which you guys will just lead to more boredom. You are creation of God. You are interesting. Learn how you're interesting. He made you crazy amazing. I mean, it's really mind-blowing if you stop to think about it. And that's exactly it. You won't be bored if you stop to think about it. So here's the deal. If you really want to cut the boredom eating, and you want to get to that root of that problem, of why you're eating when you're bored, here's what I suggest. 1, learn to lean into restlessness and ask God what he wants you to do for it. Remember, restlessness may not feel good, but neither does an overstuffed stomach. And even though restlessness doesn't really feel good, you can handle it. It won't kill you, and it will pass, I promise. It will not stay forever. And then 2, get curious. Ask yourself lots of questions. Look around, be interested. Even if it's not in yourself, but I highly recommend asking questions about yourself, getting to know who God made you. So, I mean, it could be talking to the person next to you in line, or looking up a topic, or just noticing all the pictures on the wall, or just even finding out more about God and who he created you to be. Okay? Those are all ways you can gain interest. Don't avoid interest. Get interested. Okay? All right, you guys, that is what I wanted to tell you about boredom eating. And next week, I think we're going to talk about procrastination eating because it kind of goes a little bit along the same lines. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.